So suppose you have a sample of 2,000 people, and of them 1,700 work more than 40 hours a week. We want to know what's the sample proportion, what's the margin of error, and we want to construct and interpret a 95% confidence interval of the population proportion. So to find a sample proportion, we are going to take the sample size, which is our 2,000 people, and then the number of people who had whatever our issue is. In this case, they worked more than 40 hours a week. There were 1,700 of them, and we are going to make a fraction, the 1,700 people, out of the 2,000. And that is our sample proportion, or many times we'll refer to that as P hat, because our little symbol that goes over the top looks like a hat. All right, now we probably want to change this into a decimal, so I'll put 1,700 divided by 2,000 in my calculator, which gives us 0.85. Or if we want to express it as a percent, we can say 85%. 85% of these people work 40 hours a week. What is the margin of error? To find the margin of error, we're going to use the formula 1 over the square root of n, where n is our sample size. And here our sample size was 2,000. So we're going to do 1 over the square root of 2,000. And we let our calculator do that work. That gives us 0.022, or 2.2% if we change it into a percent. All right, so now we're going to construct and interpret a 95% confidence interval of the population proportion. So first, let's actually construct the confidence interval, and then we'll interpret it. All right, so we always take our sample proportion, in this case 0.85, and we both, from our 0.85, we're going to do two calculations. We're going to subtract our margin of error from it, and we're going to add our margin of error to it. So I'll do the subtraction first. So if I subtract 0.85 minus 0.022, that gives 0.828. And then if we add 0.022, it's going to give us 0.872. And that is the lower and upper part of our confidence interval. All right, now let's interpret it though. We are 95% confident. And it's hard to write with your mouse. The true proportion and let's look at the situation. What is our proportion? It's the number, or it's the proportion of people who work more than 40 hours a week. True proportion of people that work more than 40 hours a week. Is between, and here's where we're going to use the lower and upper limits that we got from the confidence interval construction. 0.828 and 0.872. And every confidence interval we do is going to be very similar. We're going to say something like we are And our percentages might change later, but in this case we are 95% confident. And then we're going to look and see, are we finding a proportion or a mean? Well, our question was about proportion, so it'll be true proportion. If it had been about means, we would have had true mean. And then we look and see, what is it that we were finding the proportion of? The people that work more than 40 hours a week. That comes next, and is between the two values we got when we did our computations.